Good morning, everyone. Kansas Sports HQ episode 32, El Dorado Walnuts, featuring head coach Rod Ellison. He'll be joining us later. How's everybody's morning going? Our breakfast was kind of sponsored by Casey's, and yeah, it's all gone. We had to wait on Sean. Technology issues. Switching over from a PC to a Mac, very big difference. Who knows? Anyways, Sheldon, how's your morning? Sean's still getting ready.
Good. Locked. Got my workout in. Leg day. So much fun. Did some deep pause squats, so that was not fun, but good for me. So my knees, it feels like I got leather just strapped around my knees, stretching itself out. So,
Oh boy.
but it makes my knees feel better long term. So I just do it.
Yeah.
Embrace the suck, people. Just do it. So, but yeah, it was good. It was good. Got up early, got things done, moving around. I got a bunch of work to catch up on today. So
How was your Casey's pizza?
it was delicious. Very, very good. So,
I'm a big fan of their chorizo and jalapeno.
we did a little grunt work for lean body today. So hopefully that's, us paying our dues for the lean bodies.
Yeah.
Matt Hartman, help us out. We need more. Hook us up, please.
Sean, are you coming into this thing, or are you just sitting there without your mic?
You're going no headphones, no mic?
Rough morning.
Sean says, I thought that this new computer could just do it.
Theory.
Oh,
Yeah.
goodness.
There you go.
Well, yeah, so let's talk about the El Dorado Walnuts. Go ahead and shoot Rod a message.
Oh,
there he is.
He's here.
Sean, how's your morning going?
Fine. Good.
Fine, good. You
How's
said
your
you
BioLite? Let's talk about BioLite. Maybe they'll sponsor us. What is BioLite?
I don't.
it's
Who makes it?
it's an
Right.
electrolyte drink.
Is it its own thing, or
Probably
is it made
China.
by someone?
It's its own thing. They're
Rally Brands LLC, Cobb Industrial Drive, Marietta, Georgia.
probably
Produced
one of
in
the
the USA.
best ones that you can get like at a quick trip. For hydration recovery. If you overeat, it helps with your bloat. Just
Oh, I overeat.
it just helps out.
Need it. We need
Yeah.
it. Somebody's going to give us some cool stuff someday. It'll be cool.
One day at
Come
a
on,
time.
BioLite. Step up.
Yeah.
Just been coming down with a little something, no big deal.
Yeah, you both supposedly are getting sick.
blame-
Not I.
I blame your kids.
I paid my dues earlier. No more for me. No more. All right. But yeah, let's talk about the Walnuts, man. I'm excited to highlight them on here. We got Rod Ellison about to join, so we'll get a little bit of his backstory and just info from him. But national champions. So,
2022, right?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
they have done some pretty big things. Obviously, shout out to the city of El Dorado because they've been great partners for the team. City of El Dorado's just absolutely shown up for them and continues to show up, and they're the most attended team, around here, probably in the state, to be honest, for summer collegiate ball. And they probably, rival some of the bigger places that are across the country. I mean, they have a good average attendance. They have a great 4th of July showing, great business showing. Like, they are the poster child of what we are trying to build across the KCLB as far as, fan engagement and people coming out and that type of stuff. So it's definitely fun to have them in the league and see how much they've been growing.
Well, and they've continued to make some facility upgrades. They got new turf out there because Butler plays at the same field that the Walnuts play at.
Yep.
Then they raised the field fence from 8 foot to 12 foot.
Yeah, they got a mini green monster all the way around, kind of a thing. Moved the scoreboard recently, which was a nice shift.
Yeah.
So when I played there, that thing got beat up because it was in a short part of the park, and the whole park was short. But
yeah, but you got to admit,
Yeah.
hitting a ball off the scoreboard is a good feeling.
yeah, I don't know. I don't think I ever hit it personally, but
I did in MLB The Show one time. It was
Oh,
pretty
and it
cool.
felt good. Yeah.
Yeah, it felt good.
Yeah. Well, in real life, I don't think I mean, I only hit a handful of home runs in college. I didn't hit a ton. I probably had
I have given up a home run off the scoreboard.
also probably a different type of a feeling, maybe.
Well, they in El Dorado they also have a community partner that puts a porta potty up behind like center field where the TV stand is, and it's called the pot shot. And if a player hits the porta potty, they get like a meal up to $50 on the porta potty place.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
It was kind of crazy.
At the porta
to see
potty
that.
place, you get a meal at the porta potty place.
They serve it. You have to sit in the porta potty, and they serve it to you.
Up to $50.
Well,
You get a nice little ribeye.
and you got a spot, and you have to stay in the porta potty until the meal exits. That's their selling point.
No.
Yeah.
And then, a good shout out to ICI and Willie's for being their military uniform partner.
Yeah, Scribner too for their in-game entertainment.
Wilkinson Construction
They
for
got a
their
lot, man. They got a lot
military
of fun.
hat. Just lots of cool stuff.
Yeah, they got a lot of fun things happening.
The man, the myth, the legend. Rod Ellison,
Hi, guys.
welcome to the show. How's your morning?
Good. How about you?
Oh, we're good. We got some Casey's Pizza in us, and just working through the here's and there's of El Dorado. And I hear you're a new grandpa.
I am. Yep. Really, really awesome little girl. Pretty happy about it.
Yeah, look at the smile on
Look
his
at
face.
look
You
at
don't
old
smile very
grandpa.
often.
I mean,
Look at that.
we know you got all that gray from Chase, but
that's
but
a genuine smile out of the old
that's
fella.
happiness right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty happy. I told her and I'd get in trouble together.
Oh,
How's Chase doing? How's Mama doing? How's everybody doing?
The family's doing good. They're all doing good.
Awesome.
Healthy little girl.
Awesome. Are they still in the hospital or are they home?
No, they're home.
Sweet.
Nice.
Good deal. Yeah, that's always. I've had some experiences in there having kids. So, well, me not having them, me witnessing them. So it's always good to hear if they're in there for just a couple days and they get out of there. So that's awesome. Well, we're excited to have you on, man, and just kind of get to chat with you for a little bit and just kind of go through everything with the Walnuts and kind of talk about a little bit of the history of the team. We were just kind of tapping a little bit on it, but we'll kind of dive into that, and then you can tell your story and just kind of talk about what we got going on. I think the Walnuts, at least for us, is kind of like our poster child of the KCLB. It's definitely what we are striving all of the teams to kind of follow in the footsteps and continue to grow and kind of be sought after, I guess. But I guess if we start kind of from the origin story, talk a little bit about the name and kind of where that came from. And a little bit of background there. Obviously, El Dorado is a big baseball community. There's been baseball around the El Dorado community for a long time. For those of you that are familiar with collegiate summer ball, they had the El Dorado Broncos back in the day. And the Broncos had been around for a long time. My uncle, actually, long time ago, when I was, like 6-7 years old, was the coach of the Broncos. So, back when I was kind of coming up, I would be at some Broncos games and I would go around with them and be in the dugouts. And some of my earliest memories of baseball were being around that team, which is kind of cool. So that I have a little bit of history that's around that, but, they kind of, started to fall apart a little bit and, eventually ended up folding the organization, and El Dorado was left without a team. So kind of saw an opportunity as, a city in need of an organization and us looking to expand. And so we went out there and, kind of pitched the idea and tried to get them excited about it. And like most of the places that we've gone to, there was kind of a bad taste in everybody's mouth of previous organizations kind of doing things a certain way. And, so we had to, there were some hurdles and some objections and adversity to kind of battle as we were trying to get everything off the ground and going. But we worked through that, had a good game plan, kind of got them bought in on the city anyway, on being involved with what we were doing. And then, that was kind of the timetable where we started putting the name together.
Man, that was fun.
Yeah, we had a few different, and first and foremost, the Walnuts was not my first choice. I was really set on doing the muscle. So the El Dorado muscle, that's what I wanted to do. And basically our logo was going to be a zebra that was like roided out and monster,
and
like a zebra
flexing.
muscle,
I had a
because that's
great
what they have
logo
in the
picked
lake.
out.
But they didn't like that because everybody hates zebra
They're
muscles.
an invasive species,
Yeah.
and our return was, well, we want to be an invasive species here. We want to do great things.
Yeah. So they nixed that idea pretty quickly, but
That's
the
good.
logo was sweet. It was
That's
cool.
good.
No, El Dorado
Yeah.
muscle would have been dope.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah. Look
And
at
then-
oh no, the muscle are
And
here.
then when
No.
they said no, we presented the cluckers and
They had a city ordinance
This,
against chickens.
with it, yeah, like people
So
were
they
challenging
they
the city
X'd that
ordinance.
idea, and we were like, "What?" Like, because the Cluckers logo is cool too, which obviously the Cluckers is now a part of some things and postseason ball and stuff, and so that didn't work. So then we ended up with the Walnuts. So, and obviously that's a play, on Walnut River, Walnut Valley. There's just a lot of stuff that's around the community there that it plays into. So it worked out really well, and happy that we, ended up with that, and then kind of started the journey of, going around and doing everything with the team. But in that same time frame was when Rod and myself, we sat down and had a conversation about having you come on board and kind of being the skip and running things here. So let's talk a little bit about that. Let's talk about kind of the beginning parts of you coming on with the team, and kind of that history, and then we'll kind of just ask some questions along the way.
Well, it was you and I talked and decided we'd do it. Was really excited, hoping to bring the community together over the Walnuts and make them part of because when I was young, baseball was huge in El Dorado. I mean, Christ, when I was really young, I remember there being a semi-pro team there, and it was something to me that had faded away over the years and wasn't excited. The community wasn't as big on it as it once was, and we was hoping to bring it there. And then I love working with younger guys, trying to, had an accident at work several years ago, lost part of an arm and a leg, and I wanted to show people that no matter what happens, you can still do things if you're willing to put your mind to it. There's no reason to not do things. So it was a big, it was a big hope of mine, is to really push and drive kids hard in something that they're wanting to do and make them successful, and have them be part of the El Dorado community and see what the area in this part of Kansas is like, and really try and bring everybody together and into something that I thought would make it more family oriented and something for everybody to do was a big part of our drive.
Definitely. What's a little bit of your coaching background? Like how long you been coaching for? Kind of what's your track record there?
20, 25 years. I played the game, obviously, 100 years ago, back when they still didn't wear masks as catchers and stuff, but I played a long time ago. But I've coached for 20, 25 years, and I have loved working with young guys, trying to use something they love to do to make them tougher in life for life itself. Being a family, being married, having kids, being good men. That's my goals, to help push these guys to be better men down the road, not just better baseball players.
Definitely. Well, I remember having the first convos with you. Obviously, I was familiar with you just being around the league and coaching around the league with different organization. And, your story is very, it's very inspiring, obviously, just with the daily challenges that you live with and the things that are a part of what you do, but then also your mentality towards life, like you have a no excuse, no BS type mentality. Old school baseball coach, right? Hard-nosed baseball coach. You do
Very
things,
much.
in a form and a fashion that I think the common player in today's game isn't as used to, because things have changed, in the same sense for their different styles and programs that have kind of developed over time. And to me, it's refreshing because I think that there's still, and I'm always willing to learn and listen and learn new things and try to do things differently. And I know that you are as well too. But there is a sense of, there's certain things you don't have to reinvent the wheel, right? Like certain things in the game don't need to be changed. Like there's certain pieces of it, and staying true to keeping the game simple and making it just about your players and making it about their development is something that you kind of have always really been about. And, that's what I've always gravitated towards. And I think you do a really good job of helping the guys, kind of become, better young men, which for me is the whole point, right? Like that's the whole
Mhm.
thing with the league is who wins in the summer, who loses in the summer is just a byproduct of what we're doing as, the stewards of these teams and, making sure that we're taking care of these guys. So,
Big word drop.
yeah, I've been working on that one, really locking it in there. Um, but yeah, talk to us a little bit about some of your challenges, right? So with that kind of being in mind, right? Like you are kind of that old school coach. And I mean, I'll just say you kind of scare some people when they first meet you, right? Like not only you're an old school guy, your mentality, the way you talk, but then you got a claw on your hand that, they see that and people are like, like what it, like, I'm scared, like it's just the reality of
And
it.
then you threaten them with your leg.
Yeah, and you're still fast, like you still move around,
Yeah.
like it's just so tell me some of your challenges, right? Because I think, that's something that can speak to some people, number one, but then number two, with your old school mentality and this new school game, how are you guys finding success? How are you guys still making things happen? Because you guys have been a national champion, with what you guys have done in El Dorado already. The team's been around. I think this is year
5.
5, right? So
This
to
will be your
already be able to accomplish that, which is pretty cool. So talk to us a little bit about some of the challenges and how you guys are kind of working through those.
um, challenges. Yeah, getting enough host families for all the kids we bring in is always a challenge, and that's getting better the more we're part of the community. The more we work with the community, that's becoming easier to find. Um, Challenges of getting players to commit early is a challenge, and that is, I think that's universal. It's just today's society we live in. Procrastination seems to be a thing that uh, has infected a lot of people, and waiting for the next best thing instead of working with what can make you better is challenging. As far as my old school mentality, I very much have it, and probably what helps me with that is my son being beside me coaching, who has an old school mentality because he grew up around me, but is part of the younger generation where he really works with guys well as far as pushing the old school mentality, but learning how to give it to them in today's language a little better than I can probably. Uh, I am who I am. I'm not going to change. I like who I am. And I believe in what I do. So I'm not going to change. And I believe in pushing people to be more than what they can. What they believe they can is something that is lacking a little bit in today's society. And I really, really try and push that.
Yeah. I think players in this day and age, I mean, just on the recruiting trail, especially for summer ball, it's almost like it's not about them, quote unquote, finding a opportunity to get better. Like that's kind of like lower on their priority list, which just doesn't make sense to me. A lot of these guys are just looking for the cool thing or looking for what sounds fun or, whatever. And I think you guys, especially with your guys' culture of your team, you guys end up with guys actually kind of buying into the idea of them getting better, and like wanting to love the game and be a part of the game and like try to focus on that side of things by the end of the summer with you guys. A lot of them, I don't think, come in with that same mentality. It takes a little bit of time to get them to kind of get back into, that routine of kind of focusing on that. And I think you guys do a really good job at that because you guys have good culture there. And obviously, you guys are doing things to bring guys together at the end of the seasons and have returners and have guys that want to be a part of what you're doing. But if there was a club that's out there that's not for everyone, you would also be the same club that I would say your club isn't for everyone. Like you're gonna have to find, or you're gonna have to be a certain type of young man to be able to fit into your guys' culture, which I think that challenges people for sure, but that's also why you guys are having the success that you're having as well. So, my 2 cents
It's
there.
definitely a struggle because most of them come here with the idea of what can I do to get better? What can I, or they come here with an I mentality. And that's something that we really work hard to get rid of, because I is never as good as it can be as it is when we're we. And we is a forever thing in life, no matter what you're doing in your job, in your home, and no matter what you're doing, worrying about the next person, making them better makes you better in the long run. And that's something we really push. And most guys try and succeed. And, if you've played for me, then you get phone calls from me throughout the year just to check on you to see how you're doing. Because if you've played for me, you're something that I take interest in the rest of your life, and how you're doing and how your things are going in your life. And that's just something, that's the way we go about our business. So
That's your family mentality.
it is.
Yeah. So talk a little bit about, year one and then year two, how it just exploded for you. Because I think in year two, you guys won the KCLB league outright, and then you went on as a 14 seed to win the national tournament. Talk a little bit about that excitement and where it's led you guys to today's teams.
That was an awesome experience. That team was outstanding, and there was actually some games during that season that we probably lost that we wouldn't have had we just played our best lineup. But we're big about playing everybody for a while and trying to get our goal. Something my son and I talked about, our goals when we sat down at the beginning of starting this. Our goal is to make every player better, to make them all better men, to send them back to their school healthy and better than they were, hoping that we would get some return from that. And then, as far as that, the big part of that is the family orientation. Part of that is bringing them all together, be better. But when we done that, we had several guys that we lost before we went into the national tournament that were everyday players. And by playing those younger guys, like there was 3 guys on that team that just finished high school. So they had never played an ounce of college baseball until they come to us this summer, who all ended up being giant parts of our national championship because they grew as that year went. And that was so exciting to watch the growth in them and watch them develop and watch them become the people they are today. So, and how it's grown is it gives us some recognition. So when new guys come in, they go, well, they've done this before. Let's listen to them a little bit. Let's pay attention to what they're doing. And that's the biggest part is what we see because we do ask guys to change things when they're struggling or when doing things, and we ask them to do certain things. And that's where Chase is really good, that he's better at breaking it down for them probably than I am. He can show them where I can't show them anymore. And he does a really good job of explaining. I can do a really good job of explaining why. He can do a really good job of explaining and showing, and that helps him along the way. So it's that was a big plus for us winning that national championship, of buying some credit, some street cred, I guess, in today's terms, with the kids. And that probably helps us there. But it was just an awesome experience to have that opportunity to do that.
Yeah, for sure. So in the KCLB, who's your rival?
Whoever walks across the line for me is my rival.
What's your most favorite team to play?
I want to beat all of them. I love them all.
You're
but I
not
want to beat
helping
them.
me.
I don't have. There is not one certain one that I want to beat more than the other. I want to beat the brakes off everybody we play every night.
Okay.
That's just who I am. I can't change it.
Then let's turn it to the 4th of July game. The U.S. military War Dogs have been kind of a staple point in the community for the 4th of July in El Dorado. How exciting is it to bring them back for the 250th birthday of America, and then playing their national team with their hopes of beating the brakes off of you for the first time?
It's an honor to have the military War Dogs come in every year. It's a great experience. All the little stuff we do up to it for the guys that play for us, and it really is an honor, and it's a hell of a show. And let's be honest, it's more, a lot of our guys, it's more people they've ever played baseball in front of in their life, and it will be for some of them for the rest of their life. That we have a huge crowd, we have great representation from the city. The city puts on a hell of a show of fireworks when we're done. It's an awesome event for everybody who's there.
And then talk about Winston.
Winston is our logo, and Winston does more for us than anybody will ever know. Winston behind the scenes is just an outstanding part of our team and our community, and really, it's amazing how excited the kids get about Winston.
Absolutely. Winston is the El Dorado Walnuts mascot, and he runs around the city. He tries to participate in a little over 18 events, not including baseball. Always in a parade, always doing some crazy stuff. We went down for the Veterans Day parade and handed out flags to all the little kids, and that was really cool. Winston, or some people call him Wally, which we can't do, but Winston the Walnut is becoming a staple point in the community for sure. But Sean looks like he has something on his mind. You got a question for Rod?
Yeah,
Yes,
sure.
Sean, I love to try and beat the brakes off you every chance we get.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to ask. That's exactly what I was going to ask. No, yeah, you already highlighted a little bit, but how long have you been coaching with your son now, and what has that done for your guys' relationship?
Him and I have always been extremely close, but this has probably done a lot for both of us, working together like this and seeing things. He's young, just like you, and it's always, as a parent, that you never quit being a parent. So it's helped him become a better young man too, as far as I'm concerned, with everything that he's gone through with this and doing this and learning to work with younger people, which I hope makes him a better parent in the long run. And he's finding out now. So
Yeah, and I, every time we play you guys, doesn't really matter the talent level you guys have. You always end up being kind of a swarm at the plate. Just attack. Little single here, bunt here, line drive in the gap here. Pretty much by that second or third week, that's how you guys are on offense. And whether you have like stud arms or not, they're just competing in the zone all the time. So I really admire that. What are some of the things you communicate to those guys? I know we've highlighted a few things already, but what are some of the things you communicate to those guys and your philosophy on offense and pitching?
my philosophy on offense is aggression. I want to put pressure on everybody we play as much as we can. We play a lot of small ball doing that, but we're going to force you to make plays. That's just our approach to it. Pitching, I don't care how hard you throw as long as you attack the strike zone. I will help you. We will help you throw with better velocity by using better mechanics in the long run, but pitching and attacking the strike zone, the one thing we can't defend is walks, and so that's our goal, is to just attack the strike zone at all times and make things happen.
Amen.
And
Yeah.
actually, we was at a game at your place this year, and some of your guys thought it was crazy that I did it, but I'm sure you'll remember that we had several errors in the
Mhm.
game, and I wasn't gonna tolerate lack of effort or lack of willingness to do things the right way. So we ran a few sprints afterwards, and I remember some of your guys thought that was crazy that we would do that in summer ball. And then the next time we played, I think you'll remember we were a little better than we were that time.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And I yeah, obviously my players thought that was crazy, but I think that's good that those players are getting that somewhere, especially if, like, I know if my guys are thinking that's wild that they get punished for that, that means they're not getting that kind of stuff when they go back to school. So when they come out for the summer and they get a little reality check, and like you said, it doesn't only just help on the baseball field, but also just kind of teaches these young men that there's consequences for your actions. Like you're not going to be able to slack on your job and not get punished for it, right? And it's not like anything crazy. I think the punishment fits the crime. I mean, if you're not going to focus and give your high effort to your teammates and to your coach and the people who came to watch you, then yeah, you deserve to run a little bit probably, or something like that. So no, I was totally with you there. That made sense.
That's like I talked about earlier. My goal is to make them better men in the long run, and that's part of the we thing. When it's more about we and driving to be better for the man next to me than I am for myself, then you become a better man down the road in the long run, and that's what we push for.
Absolutely.
I think running provides mental clarity very, very quickly. Whether you want to admit that or not, running will allow you to have some mental clarity pretty fast, as my 6-year-old is learning.
Starts to give you some hindsight there pretty quick.
Literally. Yeah, no, I mean, and look, like guys in college, like they all, don't get me wrong, like summer is a little bit more relaxed, but with anything with kids, you give an inch and they take a mile, right? So it's like, we've gotten to this point where because kids don't think something's cool, it's like the entire industry has to now evolve and make it different because the kids don't like it. Screw that. Like, no, it's just the culture is what you set it at, right? The standard is what you set it at. And you don't have to conform just because all the kids on the team don't like something. Like, what? Like, whenever we decided to mentally be that soft as a baseball industry, like the whole entire market, whatever, that to me was the downturn of the way things are. Now, granted, there's certain things that I didn't agree with, and if you study the science and understand, the pieces that go into, the physical side of things, right? There is some pieces of that back in the day we were probably overdoing it in some areas. I'm not
100%.
not going to act like that's not true, because it was definitely true, and I was the victim of that. So I definitely went through it on my own. But the realities of that too are, like, you have to have some skin in the game. Like, you have to have some sense of understanding if you want to get the most out of your players. If you want to get the most out of them, they have to understand that there's something on the line. And uh, physical things, is, like I said, it's going to bring some mental clarity pretty freaking quick. And then all of a sudden you're going to get some buy-in, and then the next thing you know, it's like, okay, let's go out there and pull our heads out, right? Like, let's just go and do what we know how to do, kind of a thing. And it helps teams identify leadership, right? It helps teams identify the guys that are going to be issues and the guys that are going to step up to the plate and do what's necessary. And I think that all coaches are constantly looking for that. And it allows players to be able to step up and make those changes for themselves as well too, because it should be player driven. It should be leadership driven. Like, it should be driven by the guys that are stepping across the line. If the coaches are having to motivate players, then we're down the wrong road already. Like, we're in a bad spot, right? Like, these players should already be motivated. Like, that shouldn't be something. We should be steering the ship, not having to keep it afloat. So that's just kind of, I guess that's old school nowadays, but it is what it is. But talk to us a little bit about, in El Dorado, right? Like, talk to us a little bit about your experience as you're out there on the field, right? Because we always talk about, the city showing up, fans showing up, that type of a thing. You obviously have been, coaching this team for 4 years, going into year 5. Tell us what the experience is like when you guys are out there on the field with the crowds that you have, the in-game activities, post-game stuff, right? Like what makes it fun for these players to come and play in El Dorado, number one, but then number two, how does that kind of coincide with the reason that you expect so much?
Well, because of the crowds we get, and we have a huge, it seems like every year we have a huge kid following that are just around us all the time, and they're asking for autographs, and they're loving being around the guys, and that's such a cool experience too, because now we're teaching the young generations to love a game that we all love. Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing this. And the game can teach so much to every person as they're growing up, because there's not a tougher game. Wherever you are on the field, you are by yourself. You are out there, and as soon as you don't want the ball to find you, it will find you.
Uh-oh.
So that part's really cool.
You're back.
And can you hear me?
Now
Yeah,
can.
we can hear you.
Okay. And then something that just by kids watching us, and the kids is the big part of it. Now we like,
Rod, if you can hear us, your internet is failing you.
yes, it is. I'm back now. You got me?
Yeah.
Yep, there you go.
Rewind like 30 seconds and start over.
Okay. The kids part of it is awesome, because we're teaching without us even realizing so much that we're teaching young kids to love the game so much and to play the game with a lot of passion. I think it was this summer. I think it was this summer that we had a group of, and it seems like every time we got 8, 9, or 10 sitting just above us in the dugout, and we're in the first inning, and the leadoff hitter walks, and the next guy's coming to the plate, and the kids above me, Chase, my son, is coaching third base, and the kids above me are going, Chase, put him on the ground, put him on the ground. They're wanting the kid to bunt and to get the run game going, get the small ball game going. And these kids above me are the ones, they don't know I can hear them, but I can hear them, and they're all excited about it. And that is so cool to watch all those young kids love seeing the way we do things and enjoy it and have a lot of fun with it. And then we have a couple kids camps every year, and those kids show up for this. Then we get to work with them and play, and then we play wiffle ball afterwards, because it's a good time for everybody. But the big thing is just the amount of kids we get coming to our games and cheering, and for Christ's sakes, they will give us players cards from their own collection. They'll bring them to us, and they really want us to have them. And will you sign this ball for me? I mean, it's cool to watch the kids in the community jump into what we're doing and enjoy it. And it's like it's a huge thing for us to watch them enjoy it and learn about it.
Yeah, I mean that's giving back to the game in more ways than we could even truly understand. I mean, I think that's exponential that those kids are there and they get to see players who they more than likely won't ever see again, but they get to build a relationship with an organization that cares about them. And then that's what fuels their passion towards baseball. And I can remember being a young kid and watching those games and being in the dugout and being around the guys and seeing a wood bat for the first time, and just seeing how big the players looked and just all of the things. And that's what spawned me wanting to play. And then I wanted to learn more and be about it and keep trying. And, so I think that embodies what we're trying to do as an organization. And none of that has to do with winning and losing, right? Like none of that has
Nope.
to do with anything that we're worrying about on a day-to-day basis out there. It is such a big picture thing. And I believe El Dorado is actually the first city where we have a youth team not affiliated with us that reached out to us because we have the Junior Walnuts out there. That is a youth organization that plays there in El Dorado that uses the same logo. We gave them permission to use our stuff. So the Junior Walnuts are a baseball team inside of the community, and all of that is organic. Like all of that is just stuff that happened on its own, grew on its own in the community, and is now becoming something that kids are looking at and looking up to and being about. And for that, that to me is us running a successful organization. Like that means more to me than any championship, than any win, than any anything along those lines. Because that's how we can enrich the game and get back to the game. And we never want to lose focus on that, for sure. But out of your coaching years, with the Walnuts, tell us about maybe one or two players that really stick out to you. Tell us about one or two guys, and I know there's a lot. There's a couple every single year, obviously, but
There is.
what's one or two guys that that played for you? If they're still playing, where are they playing at? Or maybe if they're done playing, or are they coaching? Are they doing something like? Tell us about a couple of players that had kind of come through, your pipeline.
Drew Veach is one that's still playing that has a real chance. Things always have to fail, right? But he's had some looks from pro scouts and stuff a lot because of his speed. But it was he's a kid that I watched grow up, coaching through a youth organization and helping him, watch him grow up and grow into a man he's become is obviously very rewarding to me, and watching him still keep going and what he's doing. Another one is probably Brock Loomis. He is now coaching at Western Illinois. First year out of school, went there after he got done playing for us that summer. He got some offers and chose to go there, and it is awesome to watch. Great family. It is awesome to watch him get to live and experience his dreams a little bit by doing that. And then, oh God, there's so many, man. Guys that have just come through that some of them are now umpires, that umpires in the league and it's just to watch these guys grow into be young men is the reason I do it. And it's the reason I keep going at it and love doing it, because I'm helping guys grow into young men. Obviously, they have good families, and obviously that's where the majority of it comes from. But it's just me emphasizing some of the old school stuff and making them a little tougher for life in general. But I love doing that and love watching guys grow into what they're doing.
Love it.
One of the guys that I hear his name said a lot when I'm in the community is Ben Brown.
That's the umpire I was talking about.
He goes to the senior center, visits them, talks to them, and he's out and about in the community, and nothing but good things to say about him. But he attributes his community presence to the Walnuts. And that's pretty cool because he was a part of like the original group of year 1 and 2.
Yep, and he was, dude. That championship team, as depleted as we were the year we won it, he was a pitcher for us. He was a PO in the championship game. I started him at first base because we didn't have anybody else left. He had already thrown all I was going to let him throw, so we started him at first base, and he had a bunt that ended up scoring a run. So it was just, he's always an awesome part of us and what we've done. And I do call and check on Ben every so often, see how he's doing. So yeah, he's the guy I was talking about that is an umpire now. So it's cool to watch the evolution of everything that goes on.
Yeah, he's still giving back, which is awesome.
Yep.
Traitor.
Yeah, well, he went to the other. That's the dark side.
That's the dark side. Oh, the umpires. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, you talk about the kids a little bit, and then obviously the community involvement in Eldo, and I think it's we've talked about this before. All the different experiences that get these players get to have, especially at a place like El Dorado with such good community support. Playing in front of big crowds that they probably don't. A lot of them don't get to play at in front of in college. and getting all those kids being really involved. Because I know everybody's college experience is different, but I mean, we didn't have a ton of like kids at our college games when I played, you know.
No.
So it's really cool that these players get to have these experiences. So I guess my question is, like what kind of things do you see there that give these players who get to suit up for El Dorado and then get to play in the KCLB? What kind of experiences are they getting that, you know, they don't
They're
get to
getting
have in college?
they're getting an awesome community experience, but something like just like you talk about, some of those same kids that have played for us are having relationships with these kids and host parents with kids that they go and see them. Like I know last year, host family made a trip to California to see a couple of the guys that had played for us and visit. They went to California and took their kids out there to see those guys and seeing them over Christmas break and stuff like that is just awesome that they're building the memory of our community for a lot of guys. Some of these guys end up moving back into the community for one reason or another, which is always awesome because you want to bring quality people to the community anytime you can. So that's always a goal also. So it's just a great experience for the kids and for the people that's all part of it, honestly.
Absolutely. And then one last question from me here is obviously we've talked a lot about it already, but what does baseball mean to you?
Baseball is obviously I love it. I mean, I'm 59 years old and I'm still doing this. Um, I love the game. I love the game for what it can, how it react, ugh, how it relates to life in general. The struggles of, hey, I'm out here on an island all by myself. Nobody's responsible for anybody but me. But if I work as a team, I make me a lot better. And if I work as a team with the people I'm working with, then everything in life's going to be better in its own self. So I'm responsible for me, but I'm responsible for the person next to me and the person next to him and I'm person next to him, which makes us a better person, a better man in the long run and drives our communities to be better people and to bring our kids up the right way and try and do things like that. That's what the game means to me is the love of life in general, honestly.
Awesome.
I love that. If let's just say there's a player, because obviously we're going to share this out and hopefully people see it, but if there's a player out there, what are you looking for, right? So like as you're recruiting and you're bringing guys in from across the world, across the country to come play for you in the summertime, two questions. Number one, what are you looking for in the player, number one, but then number two, what's the kind of standard, I guess, right? Like what can a player expect if they come and play for you?
The first thing I want is a guy that's willing to learn, willing to work, and willing to change because we are going to make you better if you're willing to do all those. Two, I want the person you are as a person. I want a quality person above the best player in the world. I will take a quality person who works for the guy next to him, like we just talked about, who will become a great teammate and lead down the road. That's the person I want more than the best player in the world who's just a shithead and only worries about himself. That I don't care about and will not fit with us at all. Um, as far as things I like in a player, obviously you love big arms, you love guys that can swing it, but we really like guys that can run. Uh, guys that can run fits what we do a lot. So, because we're going to run. So that's just anybody that can run would love to have them come play for us.
I love it. Well, it's good, and it's kind of refreshing to hear too, especially from a college recruiting standpoint, right? Like when we're looking at players that are around the level, right, of college ball. It's just funny that and you're not the only person that, talks that way. It's just funny to hear, yeah, we want guys who are physical. We want guys that can move. We want guys that, are going to be aggressive, those types of things. and we want them to be good people. That's like the number one thing that comes out of college coaches' mouths nowadays is they don't want headaches. They want people that are going to be good teammates. They're going to be good guys. They're going to be people that they can build a program around. The baseball is like, it's like kind of, it's just part of it because all coaches expect to be able to teach you how to get better. But if you're a pain in the ass, we don't want you, like we don't want to deal with it. You can be the best baseball player in the world, but when you're a pain, it's not worth it. And college programs have definitely shifted more towards that. Whereas, these programs that these kids are coming up in, which is obviously travel ball programs, it's just all about being the best. It's all about being the best at this, winning this, doing this. And college programs have a completely different outlook at that. And, hopefully young players or people that listen to us obviously hear that because there's so much more that is valuable to collegiate programs that has nothing to do with how you play. And, it doesn't mean that you're not going to have to be able to play. So don't take it that way. Like you're still going to have to play the game. You're not going to see a ton of innings and you're not going to be a huge contributor if you're not a good baseball player. But there's still places on teams for you and opportunities for you to get better and work on yourself, work on your craft, work on you at these programs if you're willing to learn, if you're willing to try, if you're willing to go in with that type of mindset. But, so it's good to hear that. And I think that, hopefully players hear that. All right, well, we'll kind of wrap it up then. Last one, I kind of ask everybody that we talk to, just one major piece of advice that you would give out to the player, give out to the person that's coming up, the next generation of ball players, the next generation coming up in sports in general, coming from, your mentality, kind of your old school mentality, which I think will be refreshing as well. But, what would be kind of your one piece of advice that you would give to the player that's coming up?
Learn to be selfless. Mean more to the person, worry more about the person next to you than when you worry about yourself. When you do that, what you strive for will come to you. Worry more about the person next to you. Be selfless.
I love that.
Absolutely.
Well, awesome, man. Well, thank you, Rod, for hopping on with us. Thanks for answering some questions, talking about the Walnuts. Shout out to the city of El Dorado, all the sponsors, all the fans, all the host families, all the players that we've had in the past. Honestly, we appreciate all of you guys, and thank you for being a part of it. And if you're somebody out there that's in that community or the surrounding communities that want to get involved, Rod is pretty easy to get a hold of, and he's around all the time. Our staffs are around there, and so if you need anything from us, do not hesitate to reach out. And Rod, we always kind of throw it over to Sean. He's going to leave us in a little bit of a closing prayer, and we will go from there.
Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you for another opportunity to talk about baseball, to talk about the effect that baseball has on young men, on a community. Thank you for what Rod and Chase are doing out there in El Dorado and continuing to build something really special that brings generations of ball players together, the older generation, the younger generation, and the generation that's going through it now, and connecting and making young men better men, making ball players better men, and just pray that as they continue to recruit, more guys come in ready to be bought into that, and they have a great summer and a healthy summer and great full competition. In your name we pray, Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Well, that wraps it up for episode 32, El Dorado Walnuts featuring head coach Rod Ellison. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks, guys.
See you, Rob.